بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Are you tired of struggling with hair growth and thinning strands? Release the magic in your locks and tresses with Am Melanin Magic hair oils. Premium blend of all natural ingredients strengthens, restores, and revitalizes your hair for maximum health and growth. Don't let thinning hair
Straightened hair
hold you back. Upgrade your hair care game today. Am Melanin Magic hair oil. In loyalty to my people, I was not about to allow anyone to compromise everything that I've been building. If your house is on fire, even if you don't realize it's on fire, you don't care if my house catches fire because your own house is on fire. Well, I care if my house catches fire. I'm supposed to care if my house catches fire. Solutions were not being provided, period. They simply were not being provided. You can learn how to put a knot in, but as far as I'm concerned, when it comes down to knotted locks, that's the least of your concerns. Oh my gosh. Everything around that is so important, and that is why you have women who have lost over 30 locks. Someone like me who never lost a lock with Sisterlocks lost multiple locks. Can you imagine? Other people who thought they had thinning, the thinning reached epidemic proportions and they had to go back to Sisterlocks. That was a choice that they made. That wasn't a choice I was willing to make. I had to fix my own problems. I better be successful. Otherwise, I would be sitting up here on this channel telling you, don't do it, Miss Seeley. Don't do it. Don't trade places with what I've been through. I'm thankful for the creative mind that I have, that I was gifted with by the Creator. I'm thankful for my analytics, for my problem solving aspect, for my need to uncover and make sense of things and to find solutions to pressing problems. That is the name of the game. That's what I have always done. In any of my businesses, that's what I've always done. Find solutions to pressing problems. I'm not that person that's going to give up. By the same token, I'm not the person that you can just dismiss because your ego doesn't want to take any contributions. And each time I give input, it's crickets. That might be okay for some of y'all. That's not okay with me. Okay? I was given the spirit of fearlessness, and I refuse to be afraid to step up and to call things out when things need to be called out, because I know that I'm accountable as well. It's going to be me tomorrow. At every level, there's another expectation of what we have to do in order to stay in alignment. So it's somebody else today. It's me tomorrow. It's you the next day. We're all going to get our turn from the cradle to the grave. I said in 2 other videos specifically, verbatim, let me go in first. Let me give it about a year. And then I can come back and report to you all like I always do and let you know what my findings are. I also said this. Now, I haven't been at it long enough to look at anything that I might miss or any cons or any disadvantages. And in terms of my perspective, I can't really see anything yet. That will continually be shaped as I continue on in this journey. So like I said in the last video, you can wait and see what I'm talking about a year from now Or you can take the journey with me, or you may decide, okay, I want to do it, I want to learn how to do it, but I just want to do this side of my hair. And I'm going to let this side. My goal is to address this and continue moving forward to fulfill my destiny. I don't take this personal, although in the matrix, the illusionary reality, it looks like a personal attack. What it is a projection of someone's inner world. It's like a child who's throwing a tantrum. What you're seeing is a state of a person's or people's heart. In other words, where they are on their spiritual journey, how they're facing life's tests. After all of our experiences are a projection of our inner blueprint. As above, so below. As a projection of someone's inner world, it speaks of one's distance from the divine. The right way, the expanded way, is something we must all battle. For this reason, I can have compassion, even if it's just a little bit. Everyone will get their turn again and again and again, and each time we should level up if we're about that inner work. I'm all about that inner work. I've been on this journey for a long time. This is not my first pony show. Why am I addressing this? I realize that there's a subset of folks who are subscribed to this channel who mean no good and are not concerned with the facts at all. There's another subset of folks who love me and support this channel from a place of high regard for what I seek to accomplish. In the middle is a group of folks who are undecided, perhaps confused, or in two minds. Okay, then there's me, loyal to my following and accountable to and inspired by all of you. I've heard that many of you are defending me in the comments. That's where the real battle is. I'm gonna have to check those out real soon. And I endeavor to let you know that it is not in vain. I appreciate your loyalty and you deserve to hear from me. Many of you have sent me emails. You constantly are sending me text messages. I love you. These principalities would love to have me flow my essence into this madness and spend time reacting and being dragged into the underworld of their mental distortions. After all, the devil is a thief of time. I have yet to watch one single video, subhanAllah, and I have no intentions of it. I, for one, don't feel any need to unleash venom and vitriol into my life. Why would I? I know who I am. My mother did watch one and had quite a bit to say to me that morning.
In my text message toward the end of my message to you, I can't believe how many times she said your name. She's calling you out.
Yeah, she's calling me out. Yeah,
she's calling you out.
But it could,
which in other words also can mean, metaphorically, she's calling you out of your space.
Right. So she would like to call me away from my blessings because, see, God is calling me to a higher path. And if I come down and follow her, I'm off my path. I'm off the path that I've been put on. And that's exactly why.
You allowed yourself to get distracted.
Right. That's why I'm not going to open the video. I'm not going to look at it.
Don't.
It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what goes on from this point on. There's no way under the sun I'm looking back.
Don't.
There's no way under the sun I'm looking back.
And anybody else who is in the spiritual acuity, they will say the same thing, just like that woman said. She was bitter. Did I not say the same thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it just jumps out at you. It really jumps out at you.
Seriously, because when you're feeling in a state of blessing and gratitude, you don't have time for that.
You don't have time.
There's no way. The two things can't exist in the same space.
It's gutter talk.
It's gutter talk. Yeah, it's gutter talk. You don't have time for that.
No. That's why when she's talking about she's spiritual, I'm like, you can't be, because you're in the gutter.
Yeah, that's fake spirituality.
You have dropped to the lowest point when you start to call somebody a snake. When you start to talk about the individual and you're assassinating their character.
Win when you ain't right within. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Come again.
Yeah.
And she begins to criticize your gifts and your talents. You know, she's so eloquent. She's articulate. She used to teach.
She is
when
too.
When you're saying stuff like that,
yeah.
Are you envious? I'm not high tech like she is. She's high tech, and I'm saying to myself, do you realize you are complimenting this person?
What's that saying? There's a saying that people love to hate you because they hate that they love you.
Yes, that's the correct application right now of that. And that's the truth. That fits appropriately. And that's what you're going to end with.
And that's what I'm going to end with.
That's what you're going to end with.
And that's the end of that. And I'll never pay it any other attention from here on forward. I got to move forward. I got a mission.
Enough said.
Enough said. I got a mission.
Enough said.
Good luck.
I prefer to turn my attention to the many tasks at hand in my life which allow me to live in the overflow. That is where I am most comfortable. Spiritual warfare is real, and it may be me today as one of many who will have to fight for the cause of truth on any level, big or small. But it'll be you tomorrow. Trust that. Have a look at this. Good morning, early bird. I agree. There will be many who will have different experiences along the way or change their minds. It's the nature of the beast of life. Hopefully you'll have a chance to speak to her to get her feedback. All of us will experience something different as we play with our hair. I know that I am continuing to learn and observe my hair. Different locks are doing different things, and I continue to wait to see what causes what as I progress in knotting. You two have a great day. Yeah, the learning curve is amazing. I wish you could share more about your insightful moments over time, but I also know when you are over someone's head, it's different than when you are doing it on your own. I think it will be helpful for us newbies. Long term, it can help people feel more secure in continuing to knot if they know there will be mistakes and what not to do, like forcing a knot out if it doesn't come out easily after waiting. Once we get a knot on top of a knot, or a nipple, which folks will inevitably get, it's harder to get over the knot with a new knot later on. It can create nervousness to try, even though you know you will have to eventually knot, especially for the folks who are not as experienced with their hands and their hair and don't know what to do. I made quite a few mistakes like this, and trying to get them out thins the lock without you realizing it. Also, because I have so many locks, I don't stress, and because I'm not attached to the outcome, I can relax a bit more. But I would think many of these folks coming out of Sisterlocks will have more of a challenging time. I know you are invested in the success of the first waiver and second waivers, especially as these will be the ones who speak of stories of success or disappointment. I am invested in this too as well, and want everyone to be successful, or at least stick with it long enough to get over the learning curve. You know, I've learned along the way, and recently, as I mentioned to you a week or so ago, of which there was crickets, by the way, figured a surefire way to place that knot every single time and get it right. That took me a year. Now I think to myself, if I had known that earlier, if there was a way for me to know that, maybe there wasn't. I don't know. Each person's experience can be so different, but there's got to be some common stumbling blocks, right? When you get a nipple on a small, very thin lock, it can get weaker faster, is what I'm finding out. Now, that's a red flag for me, but I had to learn that. A few of my locks seem to be getting very little, as if I have less hair. I'm monitoring it, though, and taking notes as I go. What are your thoughts, sis? What I did and what I do is take a stand against things that feel problematic. I took a stand against something that felt problematic, something that I was guided to see was hurting others as well as me in various ways. Something that if I chose to remain silent when I knew better would make me a part of a legacy that I would be connected with down the line, that would show up as my silent support for something that could possibly, and no doubt would on some level, impact the hair health of many women down the road. A significant number of women were going through me into something that was not quite understood or adequately explained on any level other than the knot itself. I will never apologize or feel confused regarding anything that God shows me, period. And I will never run from engagement when it's a principled matter and a matter of truth, and when it's a part of overthrowing an old way or old system that refuses to let go of its grip and takes advantage of other people's ignorance, their confusion, their desperation, or maybe just their fear or whatever. I've always stood for these principles on this channel and will continue to. It's been what I've been about all of my adult life. Am I perfect? No. But it is why I started and successfully ran an entire school for over 13 years. It's the reason why my record of enterprises and success is not contained merely within what you see me doing here on this YouTube channel. My purpose is to be a force for good and to provide a way for those who may not be able to do it for themselves. We are not fighting a physical war. Ultimately, my job is to stay connected to the Most High, Holy Spirit, God, Source, the universe, or whatever you choose to call it, to be open to divine revelation, and when called to act, to act. It's that simple. I'm on divine assignment. I don't belong to myself. We are in collective mayhem. We are living in times where all of us will have to choose a side in our own personal lives with or against those energies that are forces for darkness, should they not seek to do right, whatever they themselves are the originators or malevolence of, or whether due to the fact that they're empty vessels who, due to their own inability to heal and slay their own inner demons and vices, such as greed, ego, envy, wrath, or whatever, can be used by principalities and high places to do their bidding. We're living in the age of revelation. Have you been paying attention? For those of you who have my book, Manifesting Your Masterpiece, see October 1st for more on these people.
You ain't right within. How you gonna win when you ain't right within? How you gonna win when you ain't right within? Come again.
The bullying archetypes. Please go and look at that page. Most of us, and hear me clearly, please, don't start out with an intention to hurt anyone. That's the vast majority of us. It's just along the way as we encounter test after test and experience the splendor and the abundance that comes with alignment, that we are presented with circumstances that challenge our values, our very core, and that can cause us to risk our alignment in the pursuit of glory, vanity, greed, or whatever. I am no exception. We will all be called more and more to take a side, to take a stand, and to call out injustice, deception, and darkness wherever we find it. Those of us who are warriors for the truth, we know this, but also those of us who have compassion and come from a sincere place will first try every other method to bring balance before we must finally pull out the sword of truth. This is exactly what I did. I don't have to answer to anyone. Those of us who understand our life purpose will gladly step forward in the battle of the mind, and this battle for the minds. In case you didn't know, I am one of them. As to the personal attacks, I hear there are many. I'm not the least bit interested in hearing about them or addressing them point for point. It's nothing new, and it surely is predictable. I knew what my stand for truth would entail, and that was my challenge. So for me to go toe-to-toe with this would be comical. And believe me, I could very easily, you all know me, with over a year's worth of conversations and audio in my phone, it would be entertaining for you, but also mean and vindictive. That's not how I move. And I've always believed how a person does one thing is how they do all things. The trail of tears and carnage is there with timestamps. All you have to do is look for it. That's a word to the wise, it's sufficient. When it comes to my prayers and divine inspiration, I've been chanting prayers and scriptures for decades with the heartfelt desire to draw nearer to my Lord and to be an instrument of divine will. That has been my silent prayer and still is. قالوا نشهد إنك رسول الله والله يعلم إنك رسوله والله يشهد إن المنافقين لكاذبون اتخذوا أيمانهم جنة فصدوا عن سبيل الله. Many of you from my spiritual channel called Spiritually Initiated and Crowned have heard me countless times talk about my love for the movie The Book of Eli, because he walked by faith, not by sight. To serve God and to serve others is a part of my divine assignment. I know who I am, and as many of you know, in our individual and unique journey towards God and wholeness, when the Holy Spirit reaches your heart, sometimes you can be brought to your knees in tears while reciting or taken up in an ecstasy or rapture of sorts that opens your heart so that it can be truly occupied by the divine. This is how the beauty of God can move us and move through us. It's not something to be ridiculed or misunderstood in ignorance for those who claim to be spiritual or anyone else for that matter. It's a language of light for those who have ears and hearts that understand. What it demonstrates is that fortunate is he whose heart has not been blackened, veiled, and blocked from the light of God. I will never, ever be ashamed of this. Many of you shared your own tears in hearing my prayers and shared your own. Others of you mocked it in ignorance. Won't be the first time the road to good intentions was paved with, or the road to hell was paved with good intentions. Those who truly know and love me, through their consult, I came to the conclusion that I cannot and should not turn the other cheek. Always won't work. There is corruption in the land and in every single community. We can see it all around us in the collective reality, and it can no longer be tolerated. We also see it in our personal lives. These imbalances are showing up everywhere. This need to speak up and out against wrongs. Those who resonate with this message know that we're being called to right wrongs, to take up the sword of truth, to get on the path of fulfilling our purpose, and to join the struggle. And today's struggle is an active struggle against the transgression of the limits set by the Most High and disrespect for the harmony that governs this mighty universe. It's so much bigger than this hair conversation. Don't we have bigger work to be doing? This is super hard. I'm no exception. Part of our test of faith is to take the first step so that the divine can take the rest, as the great scripture says. 1,000 shall fall at thy side and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it will not come near you. You will only look with your eyes, thine eyes, and see the recompense of the wicked. This is not your battle. This is God's battle. This is God's victory. Why should we be afraid to give homage and reverence to the one, the Almighty, the Most High? Should I be afraid to sing, recite, or share this reverence? I refuse to be. It's simply one of the many languages of light. It was loved initially. I don't know what happened. And there are countless languages of light, beliefs, and ways to show reference. To those who mock any reverence for that which is sacred, they will have their due at an appointed time. This is so much larger than me. It's so much larger than you. When I worked in various public school systems in the metro area, and even when I started and ran my own school for 13 years, I had to deal with all levels of students. You're going to have students on both extremes. You're going to have the ones that are under the table. You're going to have the ones that are flying above the table. And then you're going to have those that collect right here in the center. If I were to let my gifted students threaten me and force them and relegate them into the middle path or over here to do the work that those students who were not proficient in certain areas had to do, it would have been a crime against humanity. If I were to let my ego get in the way and I were to think that because I developed the lesson a certain way, and we're going to learn about, solids, liquids, and gases today in science class, and then I have someone who's a gifted student who wants to bring in this idea of plasma, or who wants to talk about the fact that there's really not solids, liquids, and gases, but that there are various states of vibration. If I try to take that child and smother that child, or I try to diminish that child's capacity for growth, I'm the one with the problem. And I become ineffective as a teacher, because my job is not to be the sage on stage. My job is to be the facilitator. I am here as a guide on the side. I don't need to be the sage on stage. Who's the sage on stage anyway, except someone who thinks that their vessel is the only vessel that can hold the information? Who really benefits when you approach learning in that way? And can you really be a teacher when you want to limit the student body and to relegate them at a certain level, and you punish them and they get into trouble each time they want to raise their hand and contribute an idea that might be even above your pay grade? You can't stifle growth. You can't stifle growth. I always give this analogy when I'm talking about things like this, the weed or the grass that bursts up through the concrete and cracks it open. The concrete cannot hold down life. Nothing in this universe can hold down life. We are constantly, always expanding. That is our job if we are going to be in harmony with the universe. If we're going to be in harmony with the divine, we must understand that we must always give way to growth. And today that growth is taking place a lot faster. Look how long it took Kmart to take Woolworths out. It took them forever. And then how long did it take Walmart to take Kmart out? Do you think Walmart is going to be around forever? Don't you think that somebody else is going to come along with a bigger, better idea? Somebody's going to build a better mousetrap? Of course. We have to give way. We have to recognize that there is enough abundance for everyone, and that we do not live in a world of scarcity, and that plenitude and overflow exists in everything. But it exists more for those of us who move in an expanded state. If I were to say, you know what, and I gotta tell y'all, because this stuff, oh, it's amazing. This kiwi cucumber, it's amazing. When I tell you it's gonna make your hair shine, it's gonna make it kind of flatten down for some of you that need flattening down, depending upon what your particular persuasion is. I digress. If I were to say, oh, I'm not gonna put the ingredients on here, because somebody can steal kiwi, cucumber, pomegranate, amla, burdock root, vitamin E oil, and lime. Somebody can steal this. So I want to hold on to it. Who's that going to sabotage except for me? That's going to sabotage me. Think about it. Why would I care if someone wanted to take this? Because people are going to do what people are going to do. They want to take these ingredients, but they don't have my proprietary touch. My proprietary touch is not in the list of ingredients. Okay? Somebody's proprietary touch you can have one person install Sisterlocks and another person install them, and they look totally unidentical. They look totally different. You can have one person do it on one side of the head and have another person do it on another side of the head. It's the love frequency. It's their style. It's the rituals that they use. It's the gift that is in their hands. And so everyone in the audience can pick whosever team they want to be on. I don't have a monopoly on these ingredients. I know that there's something, though, about the proportions and about the way I pray over my oils and the healing impact that they have that differentiates me. And so I stay in my lane with that, and I have faith in that. But I definitely don't need to hoard. I don't need to be territorial, and I don't need to make accusations, especially when you've said from the get-go, once you get the training, you can do anything you want to do with it. Yeah, once you get the training, you can do anything you want to do with it. I was the one who said, get it trademarked, protect it, at least the name. And there's a whole story behind that as well. But if you get caught up in all the hype, you're not going to creatively imagine these scenarios. I am not shallow. Anybody who knows me on this channel, you know I'm not shallow. You know that anything that I'm going to be about or that I'm going to be connected to is going to be thorough. And if it's not thorough, Mrs. Ali is not going to be connected to it. And it's just that simple. So you have to trust who you are. You have to trust what you have, and you have to trust that abundance is everywhere. You're swimming in it like a fish. Shout out to those of you on Spiritually Initiated and Crowned. You're swimming in abundance like a fish swims in water. It's not going anywhere. You don't have to be thirsty. You don't have to be territorial. You don't have to be upset if there's a changing of the guard or if there are additional guards that come in. It's inconsequential because you're in your lane. Nobody can do what you do, baby, like you do it. Nobody can do what you do like you do it. You know that. You know that. Just like there are things that nobody can do like I do. And I do it. And I will continue to do those things. And nobody is going to shut it down. I find creative solutions to problems and I share them. And that's what I've been doing here on this channel for many years. Shout out to the lovely Cynthia Joyner, who said, you talk to us about Sisterlocks, why wouldn't you talk to us about knotted locks? That's ridiculous. Like that was a foregone conclusion. Not just a promise that I made here on the channel, but it was a foregone conclusion. But there are a lot of ways that that could have gone down. There are a lot of ways that it could have gone down. But when you encounter resistance after resistance after resistance, and someone wants to diminish your value, and they want to diminish the fact that you were used as a vessel for massive amounts of abundance that was theirs, but was also a test. And then you want to be the sole source of something, even when there may be a better way, or even when someone is speaking on behalf of many of the other people in the support group. When you can't give way and be flexible, when you refuse to be open, when rigidity and inflexibility and the need to control something and to dispense it however you want to dispense it, even when the casualties are huge, I can't be a part of that. I can't be a part of that. I know what my crown means. I daggone well know what I had to do to protect it from the last brand I was associated with. And I know what I need to do at this particular stage of my journey, and I can certainly share that. And while I was seeking permission, I don't need permission. I don't need permission. God has given me the permission. All right? That's where I stand. And that's it. And that's all. Again, that's it. And that's all. Who you are. If you understand the language that I'm speaking, put it in the comments with those purple hearts and say, I understand the language that you are speaking. I am one. I am one of the divine. I am one and the same. I am a creative expression. I am the microcosm of the macrocosm. To thine own self be true. As above, so below. You want to know what you're capable of? You're a universe, all by yourself, all unto yourself. You're a universe within universes. You are a goddess within the God. Do you understand? You are a God within the God. Bounty, beauty, bliss, transcendence, limitlessness, bountifulness, timelessness, boundless. You got to come into the place where oneness is. You got to breathe deep. You got to relax into oneness and smile. It's this moment. This is the only place where you are alive. This is where it happens. There is no other place to be. The future does not exist. The past is a lie. The only place where you are alive and animating as a force of life, the only place where sacredness and sanctuary is, peace, prosperity, relaxation and rest and remembrance of the divine is in the here and now. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Look at this. What I tell you about that stellar force, that stellar stream and that tidal force. Let's read the stellar stream for you. Let's go ahead and read the stellar stream, and what you're going to realize. The stellar stream sweeps towards the place where the energy flow goes like a tidal force through the ocean. There are groups of stars that move together in the galaxy. We are a group of stars. You and I, we are a group of stars. We represent a soul tribe and a soul family. Yes, you came in here with your oversoul baby, and you are a part of mine and I'm a part of yours. We move together in the galaxy. Listen to that. There are groups of stars that move together in the galaxy and do not depend on which way the wind is blowing, nor is there anything that can be done to stop it. Who can stop us? Who can stop you when you on your thing? Who can stop you? It's a mood issue. Nothing, no thing can stop it. No matter the way the wind is blowing, no matter the tidal forces, no matter the turbulence and the turmoil, nothing is stopping you. Do you understand? Woo! They're groups of stars that move together in the galaxy and do not depend on which way the wind is blowing, nor is there anything that can be done to stop it. Woo! The only thing that can resist it is resistance. And I know ain't none of my beautiful butterflies in transformation just like me in resistance to life. Oh no. You're opening up your chest, you are trusting, and you are flowing with life because you understand that you are not separate from the field. You ain't separate from the field. How you gonna be separate from the field? So flow with it, because the field is far more powerful, vast, omnipresent. I mean, there are no words for it. Infinite, compelling, the opener, the closer, the most gracious, the light, the most merciful. Ar-Rahman Ar-Rahim. Let me tell you about it. Do you understand? There is nothing that you need to be in resistance to, because as long as you are in the field and you're acknowledging the field and you are saluting the field and you're working within the divine parameters and you're working within the spiritual and energetic principles that are authorized within the field. I mean, take a look at the grass. Is it struggling to grow? Take a look at the sun. Have you ever awakened and it was not there? Is it struggling to shine? How about that oxygen you breathing in? How about that H2O? Could you breathe this morning? Is not every other animal in creation doing its job? Then you need to do your job. Your worship is to assume the position of the divine light that you are and to recognize that everything that you came here with is to be used for a divine purpose, even if that divine purpose is mastering yourself. And for most of us, that's exactly what it is.